Welcome back to our PharmEx demo. In this video, we're going to explore the service list view. This isn't just another way of looking at your services. It actually gives you new features like batch actions, exporting, and even more powerful filtering tools. There's a lot to cover, so let's dive right in. First, let's find the service list view. Look at the vertical menu on the left side of your screen. It's the home of everything in PharmEx. Find Services and click on it, then select Service List. This will open up the service list page. At first glance, the service list view might seem simpler than the calendar. You'll see a header with a title and a button to book a new service appointment. Below that are some hidden filters. We'll get back to those in a minute. And finally, you'll see the service grid. Let's take a closer look at the service grid. It's a table that lists all your services, sorted by scheduled date by default. The grid is divided into columns and rows. You'll see column titles like patient name, service, current stage, scheduled time, and so on. At the far right, you'll notice checkboxes to select services. To view a service, just click the View button in the Actions column for the row you want to see. This opens up the service details, which look exactly like what we saw in the service calendar view. As a reminder, from here you can deliver the service by clicking Go to Delivery. This opens in a new tab where you can fill out the form with the patient to complete the service. You can also view services that are in progress or completed and edit appointments. This view lets you make changes to any appointment details, including switching from in-person to remote appointments and generating a new link for the patient. The Show Chat option will display message communications between you and the patient for this appointment. Look at the bottom of the service grid. You can see how many appointments are showing per page, and you can change this to suit your needs. If you have multiple pages of appointments, you can navigate through them using the forward and back buttons. The numbers at the bottom tell you which results you're looking at and how many there are in total. Now, let's talk about customization. This is a running theme with the service grid. Its flexibility is part of what makes it so great. At the top, you can adjust the grid to match your preferences. Click on Columns to choose what data from your appointments you want to see in the grid. Pick what's most important to you. Let me show you. I'll hide all the columns first, then bring them back one at a time. Patient name is very important to identify who the appointment is for. So let's bring that back. See how the names are showing now? Next, let's add the service, the status, the source, the action, and of course, the scheduled time. Now let's filter the results. We don't have many appointments in our pharmacy right now, but filtering can be really useful when you have lots of appointments. Click on Filter, then select which column you want to filter by. You can filter by name, for example, and choose the operator. Let's say we want to see names that contain John. Notice how only John's appointments are showing now. There are several operators you can use. For example, we could look for only appointments in September by using Starts With and typing September. Once you apply a filter, you'll see a bubble on the filters icon showing how many filters you've applied to the current view. To remove filters, just click on Filters again and click the X next to each one. Next, let's look at density settings. You have three options: Compact, Standard, and Comfortable. Choose whichever works best for you. Lastly, we have Export options. You can export the entire grid as a CSV file, which opens in Excel, or you can simply print the grid. Keep in mind that when you choose to print, all your filter and column settings will be reset. But wait, there's more. We have additional filter options hidden away to give you more screen space and reduce distractions. Click on Show Filters to reveal them. This allows you to filter by service, status, and event date range. You can show appointments from one particular date to another, or display the 50 most recently updated appointments. Notice how recent 50 might show you more appointments than you'd expect. That's because by default, we only show appointments from a month ahead and a month behind the current date. But with recent 50, it fetches all recent appointments regardless of the date. Let's go back to the date range. Here, you can expand or decrease the date range according to what works best for you. The last thing I want to cover is batch actions. This feature gets hidden when you hide the additional filters. If you want to perform an action on multiple appointments at once, simply select all the appointments you want to modify and click Batch Actions. Let's try cancelling 2 appointments at once. The batch action workflow opens up, and you can choose whether to include a text message to patients. It tells you how many appointments you're cancelling. Usually, you'd want to send a text to let patients know, but for this demo, let's uncheck that option. Click Confirm, and it tells us the appointments are cancelled. But wait, we didn't really want to cancel those appointments. No worries, we can fix that. Let's edit each appointment to reinstate them. Click View, then Edit Appointment. We don't want to generate a new video link or send a text, so let's uncheck those options. Don't forget to update the status of this appointment back to scheduled. Click Update Appointment. It warns us that we're updating without sending a text. That's fine, so we'll click Confirm. Wait a few seconds, and voila, the appointment is scheduled again. Before we wrap up, let's talk about the source column. This shows you where the appointment came from. If you see the PharmEx logo, it was booked locally on PharmEx. If you see the 111 logo, it's a referral from the NHS 111 service. And if you see a calendar icon, the patient booked the appointment themselves. External appointments need to be configured, which is why their status is Pending Config. This means you need to review the request and decide if it's something you can do. You might need to edit the appointment to select the appropriate service, and if there's a phone number, you can initiate a text message or call the patient to clarify information. And that's it for our tour of the service list view. I hope you found this helpful. See you in another video.